I remember the rain. It didn't fall, it crashed. Every drop stung my face as I ran through the street, breath cutting like glass. My phone slipped from my hand, screen still glowing with her message. It's not what you think. But I already knew. Lena, I shouted, my voice cracking through the storm. Where are you? My shoes splashed in puddles, my chest burning. Then I saw her under the flickering streetlight near the old cafe. Her umbrella lay broken beside her. She wasn't alone. Ryan stood with her, too close, his hand gripping hers. I froze. Lena, she turned. Her eyes widened, guilt flashing before she masked it with confusion. Ethan, what are you doing here? What am I doing? I laughed, the sound hollow. You said you were working late. You said. Ryan stepped forward, his tone smooth and calm, the same voice that used to pull me out of fights. Ethan, listen, it's not shut up, I cut him off. My heart felt like it was splitting apart. How long? He hesitated. That was my answer, Lena whispered. It just happened. You were so busy, so focused on everyone else, and I stared at her. So I was the problem? Because I cared too much? Tears mixed with rain on her face. I didn't mean for you to find out like this. I laughed again, but it broke halfway through. Then when, Lena? After you moved in together? After the wedding invitations? Ryan grabbed my shoulder. You need to calm down. You're not thinking straight. I jerked away. You took everything from me, Ryan. You were my brother. His jaw tightened. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Yeah, I spat. Then how was it supposed to be? For a moment, silence. Just the rain between us, thick and relentless. Then a horn blared in the distance. Headlights cut through the dark, reflecting in the puddles around us. Lena reached for me. Ethan, please, but I stepped back, the world spinning. My mind was a storm of voices, hers, his, mine all, drowning each other out. You lied to me, I said quietly. Both of you. Ryan took a step forward. Let's talk inside. You're freezing. I shook my head. No more lies. Not one more word. Everything felt distant. Her crying, the thunder, the echo of my heartbeat. Then the light grew brighter. Too bright. Someone screamed my name. Time stopped. The impact came like a flash of white pain that tore through every nerve. My body twisted, thrown onto the wet asphalt. The world dimmed. I could hear them shouting Lena's voice, trembling and raw. Ethan. Ethan, no, please. I tried to speak, but blood filled my throat. My chest wouldn't rise. I wanted to say I forgave her, or maybe that I didn't, but the words never came. Ryan knelt beside me, his hands shaking. Don't move, okay? The ambulance is coming. Stay with me. Ow. I looked at him. Even then, I couldn't hate him the way I wanted to. Maybe I was too tired. Lena grabbed my hand. Her lips trembled. I'm sorry, Ethan. I didn't mean for it to end like this. End. That word echoed in my head. I tried to hold her gaze one last time. The rain blurred her face into streaks of light and shadow. My fingers went cold. Everything around me turned distant, like the world was fading out of focus. I wanted to ask her why. Why betray the one who would have given her everything? Why choose him? But the questions stayed locked inside me. I think I smiled, just a small, bitter curve of my lips. It's okay, I whispered, though even I didn't believe it. The sirens wailed somewhere far away. The smell of wet asphalt and blood mixed in the air. My heartbeat slowed. Then silence. The last thing I saw was Lena's face, half in light, half in shadow before everything turned black, and in that darkness, a single thought burned through the numbness. It wasn't supposed to end like this. Asterisk, I woke up to sunlight. Not the kind that warms you, it stabbed through my eyelids like knives. My chest rose, and I gasped. Air burned inside me. Where am I? My voice sounded wrong, deeper, sharper. A woman's voice replied instantly, calm and professional. Good morning, Mr. Vale. You're awake early, Mr. Vale. I sat up. The bed beneath me wasn't mine. Silk sheets, Marble floors, walls too white to be real. A city skyline glittered outside the window. My heart hammered as I looked at my hands, bigger, stronger, no scars. What the hell? The woman's short black hair, crisp suits, set a tablet on the bedside table. You have a board meeting at 10. Coffee? I blinked at her. Who are you? She frowned slightly. Mira, your assistant. Are you all right, sir? I stared at her, words tumbling in my head like marbles. Ethan. My name is Ethan. But that name felt like a ghost when I said it in my mind. I had a dream, stammered. A bad one. Mira gave a sympathetic nod. You've been under a lot of stress. The merger with Heart Dynamics isn't easy. Heart Dynamics. The name punched through my skull. Lena's company, I froze. What did you say? Heart Dynamics. The one you're acquiring today? The world tilted again. I stumbled out of bed and rushed to the mirror. The reflection staring back wasn't me. A man in his early 30s, tall, clean-cut, cold gray eyes. Adrian Vale. I whispered his name like it belonged to someone else. Adrian Vale. Myra watched me carefully. You sure you're okay, sir? Should I call Dr. Lambert? I shook my head quickly. No, I just need a moment alone. She nodded and stepped out. The door clicking softly behind her. I stared into the mirror again, searching for something familiar, some trace of Ethan. Nothing, just a stranger with my memories. What is this? I muttered. Am I dead? Dreaming. The last thing I remembered was the rain. The headlights. Lena screamed now. I was alive again. Somehow, the body of the man who owned everything she once wanted. I opened the tablet Mira had left. My name was on every document. Adrian Vale, CEO of Vale Industries. The screen showed numbers, contracts, schedules, and at the bottom, meeting with Lena Hart, 11 o'clock a.m., my throat tightened. So that's it, I whispered. You took my life, Lena, and now I'm taking yours. The door opened slightly. Mira peeked in, sir. Breakfast. Not hungry. You're never hungry, she said quietly. You should eat. Her tone surprised, me more gentle than formal. She lingered. You look different today, how so? I asked. You usually look colder. Today you look human. I almost smiled. Maybe I finally remembered what that feels like. She hesitated, studying me. If you need to talk, I said. I'm fine, Mira. She nodded and left again. I sank onto the edge of the bed, holding my head. My mind raced between past and present Tethan's pain. Adrian's memories. Two lives colliding inside me. I closed my eyes and whispered to myself, you died saving her. Now you live to face her. The thought sent a strange shiver down my spine. Not fear, but power by 10:30. I was in the car, city lights flickering past. Mira briefed me on the meeting, unaware of the storm inside me. Lena Hart will present her company's recovery proposal, she said. She's desperate for the partnership. It could save her firm. It's desperate. I stared out the window, my reflection staring back Adrian's face, hiding Ethan's soul. What kind of person is she now? I asked quietly. Mira shrugged. Ambitious? Proud? Some say reckless? You'll see soon enough. I smiled faintly. Oh, I will. When we reached the building, cameras flashed. Reporters shouted my name. Mr. Vale, over here. Each shout felt like a heartbeat, louder, sharper. I wasn't just Ethan anymore. I was someone untouchable. But inside, a voice whispered, don't forget why you're here, as the elevator doors closed. I looked at my reflection once more. I'm coming for you, Lena, I murmured. This time, you'll remember my name. The meeting room was colder than I remembered any place being. Maybe it was just me. Maybe it was her name glowing on the tablet screen. Lena Hart. Myra placed a folder on the desk. She's waiting outside, sir. Should I send her in? I nodded slowly. Yeah. Send her. When the door opened, I forgot how to breathe. Lena stepped inside, hair shorter, face thinner, eyes tired. She wore confidence like a mask that didn't quite fit anymore. She didn't recognize me. Of course she didn't. To her, Ethan was dead. "Mr. Vale," she said politely. "Thank you for seeing me," her voice. It hadn't changed. Smooth, careful, almost trembling. I gestured toward the chair across from me. "Sit." She obeyed, keeping her hands on her lap. For a few seconds, I didn't speak. I wanted her to feel the silence. Mira glanced between us, sensing tension. "Should I stay, sir?" "No," I said. "We'll handle this privately." When the door closed, Lena gave a polite smile. "I appreciate the opportunity. I know Vale Industries has a strict hiring process." I leaned back in my chair. "You applied for the creative director position, correct?" "Yes. I believe my experience at Heart Dynamics aligns with your vision." I let out a quiet laugh. Heart Dynamics. That's quite a name to bring up here. She hesitated. "It's complicated." "I'm sure it is," I said. "Tell me, Ms. Hart, what made you leave that company?" Her fingers tightened around the folder. "The company collapsed. Mismanagement. I tried to fix things, but you couldn't." I finished for her. Her jaw tensed. No one could. I watched every twitch, every breath. Her eyes flickered toward the window like she wanted to run from her own reflection. "You worked under Ryan Cole, didn't you?" I asked. Her lips parted slightly. "Yes. Do you know him?" A small, bitter smile crept up my face. "I've heard enough." She looked puzzled, then shook her head. "Mr. Vale, I know my record isn't spotless, but I've learned from my mistakes. All I need is a chance to prove myself again." "Why here?" I asked. "Why Vale Industries?" "Because it's the best," she said, without hesitation. "And I need a fresh start." I leaned forward, elbows on the desk. "Fresh starts are expensive. What makes you think you've earned one?" She met my gaze, steady now. "Because I'm not the same person I used to be." Those words hit harder than I expected. My heartbeat stuttered. She didn't know how true they were for both of us. I stood up and walked to the window, staring down at the city. "You know, Ms. Hart, people don't change easily. They just hide better." Her voice softened. "Sometimes hiding is survival." For a second, I almost turned around. Almost. "What if your past came back to test you?" I asked quietly. "Then I'd face it," she said. "Because running never saved anyone." I finally faced her. "You sound like someone who's lost a lot." Her smile was faint. I did. But maybe losing everything was the only way to understand what mattered. The words echoed like ghosts. I walked back to my chair and sat down. "All right, Miss Hart. Tell me what you'd do if given control of our creative team." She straightened. "I'd rebuild trust. Not just with clients, but with people. I believe stories, campaigns, and art can heal reputations. I want to make this company known for redemption." Redemption. The irony nearly made me laugh. I nodded slowly. "You're good with words. I mean them," she said softly. For the first time, I looked her straight in the eyes. "Do you always mean what you say, Lena?" Her face went pale. I didn't tell you my first name." I smiled thinly. "You didn't have to. I read your file." She relaxed slightly, forcing a weak laugh. "Right. For a moment, I thought you were psychic. If only you knew." I closed the folder. "That'll be all. You'll hear from us within 48 hours. "Thank you, Mr. Vale," she said, standing. "It means more than you know." When she turned toward the door, I said quietly, "People rarely mean what they say, Ms. Hart, especially when they're desperate." She froze for a heartbeat before forcing another smile. "Then I hope I'm the exception." The door closed behind her. Mira re-entered moments later, holding a cup of tea. "She seemed nervous," she said. "She should be," I replied. "Do you know her?" I hesitated. I thought I did. Once. Mira frowned. "You sound emotionally. That's rare." "Don't mistake emotion for interest," I said. "She's just another applicant." Mira nodded but didn't believe me. She looked familiar. "Have I seen her in one of the news pieces about Heart Dynamics?" "Probably. As Myra left, I exhaled slowly. My reflection in the dark window smirked back at me. "Not bad, Lena," I whispered. "You've learned to play calm. Let's see how long it lasts." The city lights shimmered beneath me, sharp and golden like shards of the night I died. And somewhere deep inside, the ghost of Ethan smiled. Asterisk, it started as curiosity. That's what I told myself. Watching her through the glass wall of my office, seeing how she carried herself, how she tried to hide the cracks beneath her smile, it shouldn't have mattered. But it did, sir, Mira said one morning. Standing beside my desk, "You've been staring at her for 5 minutes. I didn't look away. "Just making sure she's doing her job." "She's been doing more than that," Mira said. "She's working harder than the rest combined." I smiled faintly. Guilt's a powerful motivator. Mira frowned. "You sound like you know her story." "Maybe I do." She studied me for a second, then sighed. "Whatever you're planning, just don't forget you're not the man who gets to feel sorry for people." That made me laugh under my breath. Trust me, I stopped feeling sorry a long time ago. When Myra left, I called Lena to my office. She entered quietly, notebook in hand. "You wanted to see me, Mr. Vale?" "Yes." I leaned back in my chair. "Your last campaign proposal was acceptable, but I want more." Her eyes flickered. "More? More risk? More emotion. You play too safe." She hesitated. "I was trying to match your company's tone, my tone." I raised an eyebrow. "You think you know it?" "I'm learning," she said. "Then learn faster." Her lips tightened. "Of course, sir." When she turned to leave, I said, "Stay." "Something else?" I gestured to the chair. "Sit," she obeyed, cautious. I folded my hands. "Tell me, Leno, what drives you?" She blinked. "Excuse me?" "What keeps you up at night? What makes you want to succeed?" She hesitated. "I lost a lot. My reputation, my career, almost everything I cared about. I guess I'm trying to prove I'm not who people think I am." "And who do they think you are?" "A failure? Are they wrong?" Her breath hitched. "Yes." I leaned forward. "Then prove it." Her eyes met mine, steady, defiant. "I will." "Good." I nodded. "Because I don't tolerate weakness." "I'm not weak," she said too quickly. "No," I said softly. "You just break differently." Confusion flashed across her face. "What does that mean?" "Nothing," I murmured. "Get back to work." She stood, clearly rattled. As she left, I caught the faint tremble of her hands. The next few weeks, I pushed her harder than anyone else. Extra projects, impossible deadlines. She never complained, never broke. But sometimes, late at night, I'd see her sitting alone in the conference room, in her hands. One night, I walked in. She startled. "Mr. Vale, I didn't hear you. You're still here." I needed to finish the pitch deck. "It's midnight."
Oh.
She smiled weakly. "Then I'm almost on time." I walked closer, studying the exhaustion on her face. "You don't sleep, do you?" "Not much." "Why?" "Because when I close my eyes," she said quietly, "I see everything I ruined." For a moment, neither of us spoke. "Ryan?" I asked carefully. Her expression darkened. "You know about him?" "I know enough." She looked away. "He promised me everything. Said we'd build something great together." I believed him. "Stupid, right?" "Not stupid," I said. "Just human." She gave a bitter laugh. "Funny coming from you." I smiled faintly. "You think I'm not human?" "You don't talk like one," she said. "You talk like someone who's already judged me. Maybe I have." "Then why hire me?" "Because I wanted to see what regret looks like when it's trying to fix itself." "That's cruel. Truth usually is." She stared at me, tears forming, but never falling. "You remind me of someone I used to know. Someone who looked at me the same way, like I was a ghost." "Maybe you are," I said softly. She whispered, "Then what does that make you?" For a moment, I almost answered. But instead, I said, "Go home, Miss Hart." When she left, her perfume lingered in the air, jasmine, faint and nostalgic. The same scent from the night I died. Mira entered minutes later, holding a stack of files. "You look haunted," she said. "I'm fine. She's getting under your skin." I smiled bitterly. "Maybe she's just digging up what's already buried." Myra sighed. "Whatever this is, don't lose yourself in it." "I already lost myself 3 years ago," I said quietly. "Now I'm just watching the ashes move." She didn't understand. How could she? That night, as I stood by the window, the city lights blurred like the rain once did. I could almost hear Lena's voice whispering my name again, Ethanan, for a split second. I wanted her to say it out loud, but she didn't remember me. Not yet. And until she did, I'd keep pulling her strings. The invitation said charity gala, but I knew better. Ryan never threw parties out of kindness. He threw them to measure power. When I walked into the ballroom, every head turned. Cameras flashed, music swelled, and there he was, Ryan Keller. The man who killed me without pulling a trigger. He didn't recognize me, of course. Not as Ethan. Not as the man he left bleeding on the street. Tonight, I was Adrian Vale, the investor who could make or break his empire. Mr. Vale. He greeted all charm and champagne smiles. "Finally, the ghost everyone's been talking about," I smirked. "Ghosts do have a way of showing up uninvited." He laughed. "I like you already." "Careful," I said, taking his offered glass. "Liking me comes with consequences." Lena appeared beside him, radiant in silver. Her eyes met mine for a heartbeat. Familiar confusion flickered, then vanished. "Adrian," she said softly. "You came." "Wouldn't miss it," I replied. "You look different tonight," she smiled, forced. "Different good or different bad?" "Good," I said. "Almost like you remember how to breathe again." Ryan's arm slid around her waist. "My fiancée has that effect, doesn't she?" The word fiancé hit harder than I expected. I masked it with a sip of wine. "Congratulations," I said flatly. "Didn't realize you two were still close." Ryan grinned. "Closer than ever. We make a great team." "Team," I echoed. "Funny word for betrayal." He tilted his head. "Come again?" "Business betrayal," I added smoothly. "Hard to find loyalty these days." His smile faltered for a second, just long enough to see the crack. Lena noticed it too. I excused myself, moving toward the terrace. The city glowed below, endless and indifferent. I heard footsteps behind me. "You shouldn't talk to him like that," Lena whispered. "Why not?" I said without turning. "Did I hit a nerve?" "You're playing a dangerous game." I faced her. "You think I don't know that?" She looked uneasy. "He doesn't like surprises." "Neither do I," I said. "Especially when they wear diamond rings." She glanced down at her hand. "You think I wanted this?" "I think you always want what looks safest," I said. "And Ryan's always been good at selling safety." Her jaw tightened. "You don't know me." Stepped closer. "Don't I?" Something flickered in her eyes. Recognition, maybe. But it disappeared just as quickly. "You talk like someone who's seen me fall," she said. "Maybe I have." "Then you know what it costs to get back up." "Yes," I whispered. "More than you can imagine." She stared at me for a long time, searching for something she couldn't name. "Who are you, really?" "Someone who believes in second chances," I said. "Even for people who waste them." She frowned. "Why do I feel like you're not talking about business?" "Because I'm not." Before she could respond, Ryan joined us. "There you are." I was starting to think my fiancé was plotting with my investor. Lena smiled tightly. "Just making sure he enjoys the view." "Oh, he does," I said. "It's breathtaking." Ryan studied me. "You two seem to know each other pretty well already." "It's good chemistry," I said with a faint smirk. "Hard to fake," he chuckled, but his eyes stayed sharp. "I'll drink to that." When he walked off, Lena exhaled. "He's already suspicious." "Good," I said. "Let him be." "Why are you doing this?" she demanded. "What do you want from us?" "From him?" "Justice," I said. "From you." I paused, letting the silence ache. "Closure." Closure for what? She whispered. I stepped closer, close enough for her perfume to twist memory and pain together. For the night you let someone die? Her face went pale. What are you talking about? Maybe you'll remember, I said softly when the rain falls again. Before she could speak, I turned and walked back inside. The crowd swallowed me, but I could still feel her stare burning through the noise. Ryan watched me from across the room, his smile gone, replaced by quiet calculation. He didn't know it yet, but his empire had already started to crack, and this time, I was going to make sure he felt every fracture. Asterisk, it rained again that night. Just like the night I died. Same scent of asphalt and thunder. Same cold on my skin. I stood under the awning outside the hotel, watching water spill down the city streets. The gala had ended hours ago, but my head was still full of her voice. Mr. Vale. Her voice again, softer, trembling. Lena stepped into the light, her silver gown damp at the edges. You left without saying goodbye. Didn't think it mattered, I said. Goodbyes seem temporary in your world. She flinched. You really hate me, don't you? I don't waste energy on hate, I said quietly. It's too familiar. She hesitated. Why do you talk like that? Like you know me. Deeper than you should. Maybe because I've seen what people become when they're cornered. And what do you see in me? A survivor, I said. Someone who traded love for survival. She blinked fast. That's not fair. Fair. I laughed under my breath. You think fairness exists in what you did? What I did? She asked sharply. You talk as if you know I do, I interrupted. I know exactly what betrayal costs. The rain grew heavier, blurring her face into something half-remembered. I stepped closer, and for a moment, I almost saw the girl she used to be, or maybe the girl I wanted to believe she was. Ryan doesn't deserve you, I said. But you stay anyway? Why? Because he owns everything now, she whispered. The company, the media, my image. He built a world where I can't exist without him. And you let him. She looked up at me, anger flashing. Don't judge me like you're any better. I took a breath. Maybe I'm not. But I've already lost everything once. What else is there to fear? Her lips trembled. Who are you? Someone who used to believe you were worth dying for. Her eyes widened. What? Before I could say more, Ryan's voice echoed from the entrance. Lena. He walked out, holding an umbrella, eyes cold. There you are. Thought I'd find you chasing ghosts? Not ghosts, I said. Just rain. Ryan smirked. You're poetic for a businessman. Comes with experience, I said. I've learned to see what people try to hide. He looked between us. Should I be jealous, Mr. Vale? Only if you think loyalty still exists. He laughed, but his eyes stayed sharp. Careful. I've destroyed men for less, and I've buried mine for more, I said. Lena stepped forward. Stop it, both of you. Ryan didn't move. You've known him for 2 days, and you're already taking his side? I'm not taking sides, she snapped. You're drunk on suspicion, he grinned. Maybe, but I'm usually right when I am. I took a slow step toward him. She's not your possession, Ryan, and she's not your redemption story, he shot back. Don't project your guilt onto my fiancée. Guilt, I said. Interesting word coming from you, he smirked. You think I don't recognize your type? Men who pretend to save others because they couldn't save themselves? The words hit harder than I expected. For a moment, it felt like he was looking straight through the disguise. Straight into Ethan's cracked soul. Lena whispered, Ryan, stop, but I cut her off. You should listen to her, I said. Before the storm, does what I won't. Ryan narrowed his eyes. Threat. Forecast, I replied. The thunder roared behind us, echoing my pulse. Ryan grabbed Lena's arm. We're leaving. She tried to pull away. You're hurting me? Then stop making me angry, he hissed. That was enough. I stepped in, my voice low and steady. Let her go. He turned toward me, smirking again. You really want to test me, Vale? I already have. His grip loosened. She stumbled back, and for a second, our eyes met hers, full of fear, mine full of memory. I handed her the umbrella. Stay dry this time. She took it slowly. Why do I feel like I've heard you say that before? Because you have, I said. You just don't remember when. I turned and walked away. Rain hitting my face like ghosts waking up. Behind me, I heard her whisper my name, not Adrian, not the name that built to haunt them, but the name she buried with her guilt, Ethan. And that's when I knew the past wasn't done bleeding yet. I didn't sleep that night. Her voice kept replaying in my head, Ethan. The name I'd buried under ashes and false smiles. The name that used to mean something. By morning, the city had cleared, but my chest still carried the storm. I was at my office when the door burst open. Lena stood there, drenched, eyes wide, trembling. Tell me the truth. About what? Don't do that, she said, her voice cracking. Don't pretend. I leaned back in my chair. Pretend what, Miss Taylor? She took a step forward. Don't call me that. You, your voice, your eyes a-thon. It's you. Silence. Only the rain against the glass. You're imagining things, I said slowly. She slammed her hand on the desk. No, I saw you die. I held your hand. Her breath caught. How can you still be alive? I stood. You really want to know? Yes, she cried. Because I can't sleep. I can't breathe. Not since that night I cut her off. You shouldn't have been there with him. Tears welled up. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to. I laughed bitterly. You were in his arms, Lena. The night I ran through the rain to save you. The night I died. She shook her head. It wasn't what it looked like then, tell me, I said sharply. Tell me what I didn't see. She looked away. Ryan said you were planning to leave me. He said you were done, that you'd found someone else. I confronted him, and he comforted me. I was weak, Ethan. I didn't think you'd come. I always came when you called, I said, she whispered. And I killed you for it. Her voice broke, and for a moment, I almost felt the old Ika, the part of me that once believed she could do no wrong. How did you survive? She asked. I didn't, I said flatly. The man you loved died that night. Adrian Vale is what was left. You changed everything, she said quietly. Your name, your face, your life. Why? Because dying wasn't enough, I said. You and Ryan took my life. I wanted to take his. Lena's breath hitched. You came back for revenge.
Oh.
I met her eyes. What else do the dead come back for? She stepped closer. Then do it. Hurt him. Ruin him. But don't pretend you're innocent either. What's that supposed to mean? You're lying to yourself, she said. You still care? If you didn't, you wouldn't be standing here arguing with me. I turned away. You don't know me anymore. I know your silence, she whispered. I know how it sounds when you're trying not to forgive me. Stop. She moved closer. You could have stayed gone, Ethan, but you didn't. You came back to me. Even if you tell yourself it's revenge? Don't flatter yourself, I said coldly. Then look at me and tell me you feel nothing. I hesitated. For a second? Too long? Her eyes softened. You can't. I clenched my fists. This isn't about feelings. It's about debt. Then let me pay it, she whispered. How? She reached into her bag and pulled out a small velvet box. Inside was a ring silver, tarnished, familiar. I stared at it. You kept that. It was all I had left of you, she said. The police said they found it near the road. I couldn't throw it away. The ring shimmered faintly under the office lights card. Like me. I wanted to bury it, she said. But every time I tried, I saw your face. The way you looked at me before everything broke. Why are you here, Lena? I asked quietly. She looked at me like it hurt to breathe. Because I need you to hate me less than I hate myself. I didn't answer. She stepped closer, close enough that I could see the tears clinging to her lashes. If I could go back, I'd run after you. I'd stop that truck myself if it meant you'd live. My throat tightened. Don't say things you can't undo. Then let me prove them, she whispered. Let me help you destroy him. I stared at her. You'd turn on Ryan? She nodded slowly. I already have, for the first time in years. I couldn't tell if she was saving me or if I was falling into the same trap again. Lena came back the next night. No makeup, no mask. Just a shaking hand, clutching a flash drive like it might burn her. I watched her set it on my desk. What's this? I asked. Everything, she said. Emails, bank records, voice notes proof of what Ryan's done. I stared at the drive. You're really doing this? I told you, she said quietly. I've already turned on him. Why now? She swallowed. Because I can't keep pretending anymore. Not after I saw you. Crossed my arms. You think confessing makes you clean? No, she said. It just makes me honest. Honesty doesn't erase betrayal. Her voice trembled. Then let me live with it. But at least let me help you finish what he started. I sat down slowly. Talk? She hesitated, then whispered, Ryan didn't just lie to you. He used you. I figured that part out. No, she said. Not just in love. In business? The project that ruined your company, he leaked your designs to investors, then framed you for embezzlement.
I froze.
He... What? She nodded, tears falling. He planned it for months. You trusted him, Ethan. You told him everything, and he turned it into a noose.
Ow.
My hands tightened. And you helped him. I didn't know until it was too late, she whispered. He told me it was just competition, that no one would get hurt. I laughed bitterly. No one except the guy bleeding on the road. She flinched. I thought you were gone. I thought I could live with it. But every time it rained, I saw your face. The room went quiet. Only the ticking clock between us. I looked at the flash drive. You sure this has everything? Yes, enough to destroy him. I met her eyes. You're playing a dangerous game, Lena. If he finds out, he already suspects, she said. He's been tracking my calls. That's why I had to come here. I exhaled. Then you just painted a target on your back. I don't care. You should. She shook her head. You don't get it, Ethan. He owns me. My name, my accounts, my career, he's turned me into his shadow. I want out. I stared at her. And you think helping me will set you free? I think helping you is the only thing that will make me human again. For a moment, the fire in her eyes looked real. Not guilt resolve. I walked to the window. The city below looked calm, but I could already feel the chaos coming. If we do this, I said slowly, there's no going back. I've been living in the past 4 years, she said. I don't need to go back. I turned to her. Then we do it my way. Quietly. Smart. No emotion. Lying to yourself again? She said softly. You built this whole revenge plan on emotion. I ignored her. I'll go through the files tonight. If it's real, Ryan's done. He deserves it. Deserve has nothing to do with it, I said. This is about balance. She looked at me for a long time. And what about forgiveness? Forgiveness is a luxury the dead don't get. You're not dead, then you haven't been paying attention. The tension cracked as thunder rolled outside. The rain had started again. Lena stepped closer. Do you ever miss who you were? I looked at her. Every day. But missing him doesn't bring him back. She reached out, touching my hand lightly. Maybe it could. I pulled away. Don't, she whispered. You don't have to keep fighting me. I'm not fighting you, I said. I'm fighting the memory of you. Her eyes filled. Then maybe I should disappear. You already did, I said. The night I died? She looked like she wanted to say more, but her phone buzzed. One look, and the color drained from her face. What is it? I asked. She turned the screen toward me. A single message glowed from Ryan. You shouldn't have gone to him. My stomach tightened. He knows, Lena whispered. He's coming. I grabbed the flash drive and shoved it into my pocket, then let him. Her hand caught mine. Ethan, please. Don't let him hurt you again. I looked at her, really looked. He already did. Now it's my turn. The storm hit before he did. Lightning split the sky. Thunder rolled across the glass walls of my office. And I knew Ryan was on his way. Lena paced behind me. We should leave now. No, I said quietly. Running never saved me before. He'll kill you, Ethan. Let him try. A moment later, the elevator chimed. Heavy footsteps echoed. Ryan stepped out of the shadows, rain dripping from his coat, jaw tight, eyes darker than I remembered. So, he said, this is where the ghost hides. Careful, I said. You're dripping on my floor, he smirked. Still got jokes. You always did, Ethan, Lena gasped. Ryan, stop, he held up a hand. Don't bother, sweetheart. The game's over. I know exactly who he is. Do you? I asked. Because the last time you saw me, I was bleeding in the street. His grin didn't waver. Guess I should have checked the pulse. Guess you should have checked your conscience, I shot back. He laughed coldly. You think coming back from the dead makes you righteous? You're still the same desperate fool who thought love could fix people. Lena whispered, please, don't do this. Ryan ignored her. You always looked up to me, didn't you? Trusted me. Believed in me. You were easy to use. I took a step forward, and you were easy to see through. Eventually, he pulled a pistol from his coat, silver and clean. You think I'd let you destroy everything I built? Lena screamed. Ryan, no. Stay back. He barked. I didn't move. My pulse was steady. You don't need that. You already killed me once, he sneered. Then I'll just finish the job. Lena moved between us. Ryan, please? You don't have to do this. Move, he hissed. No, she said. You lied to me? You made me believe he left me. You turned me against him. Ryan's voice cracked. You would have left me if I didn't. Because you never trusted me. She cried. You don't know how to love anyone without breaking them. He raised the gun higher. I gave you everything, and took everything from me, she whispered. I stepped closer, slow and deliberate. You took her choice, her voice, my life. You built your empire on corpses, Ryan. Time to bury it. His eyes flicked toward me. You think you're the hero here? You're not. You're just another man chasing revenge because he couldn't win. Maybe, I said. But at least I stopped pretending. He pulled the trigger. The click echoed, empty. No bullet. I smiled faintly. You should have checked your gun, too. He stared, stunned. What how, Lena? I said. You took it? She nodded, shaking tears in her eyes. Last night? I couldn't let him hurt you again. Ryan's face twisted. You betrayed me? She whispered like you taught me to. He lunged at her, but I caught his arm mid-swing. The fight was short, brutal. Years of hate condensed into seconds. His fist cracked against my jaw, my knee hit his ribs. We stumbled against the desk, papers flying like snow. He grabbed my throat. You should have stayed dead. Maybe, I gasped, shoving him back. But ghosts don't leave until the living confess. He swung again, missed. I drove him into the glass wall. It spider-webbed behind his head. He froze, panting. Go ahead. Finish it. I pressed him harder against the glass. No, I said quietly. I don't need to, he blinked. Coward. Call it karma. Then the glass cracked one last time, lightning flashed hand. He stumbled back through it. Falling 3 stories onto the rain-slick street below, silence. Lena's single quotes. She covered her mouth, trembling. Ethan. I turned slowly. It's over, she whispered. It's never over. You'll carry this forever. I already do, I said. But now, so will he. We stood there, staring at the shattered window. Rain blew in, cold and endless. She took my hand. What happens now? I looked out into the storm. Now, we live somehow. But can you? She asked softly. After all this, I didn't answer. The city lights blurred through the rain, and for the first time, couldn't tell if I'd won or just lost differently. Asterisk, I remember the smoke more than the fire. The building was gone by morning, reduced to twisted steel and ash. Ryan's body was never found, just fragments of glass and a single burned photograph of the 3 of us. Lena stood beside me, her coat soaked, hair clinging to her face. It's really over, she whispered. Is it? I asked quietly. Or did we just trade one kind of hell for another? She didn't answer. The sirens wailed in the distance. Someone called my name, but it felt like another lifetime speaking back to me. Lena said, You could have let him die years ago, Ethan. You didn't have to come back. I had to, I said. Not for revenge. For truth. She exhaled shakily. And what truth did you find? That we were all liars, I said. She looked at me, her eyes glassy. Even me. Especially you. Her lips trembled. Then why are you still standing next to me? Because I can't hate you, I said. I tried. She laughed bitterly. You should have succeeded. I know. We stood in silence, smoke rising like ghosts around us. The air smelled like endings. Finally, she said, Ryan loved you once, you know? I frowned. He loved winning. No, she whispered. He envied how pure you were. How you believed in people, even when they didn't deserve it. That's what made him hate you in the end. I turned to her. And what about you, Lena? Why did you betray me? Her voice cracked. Because I was scared. He promised me safety. And when you love someone who makes you feel small, safety feels like love. That's not love, I said. I know that now. She took a shaky breath. When you died that night, I thought part of me did too. You didn't die, I said. You just forgot who you were. She looked up at the sky. And what about you, Ethan? You came back from the dead. What are you now? I stared at the ashes. A reminder of what? That even the kindest hearts can burn. She stepped closer. You could start over. Leave this city. Leave me. I could, I said. But ghosts don't get new lives. We just haunt what's left. Then let me haunt it with you, she whispered. I met her eyes. You really think we can survive this? I don't know, she said. But I'm tired of running. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that people could change. But then I saw the look in her eyes, the same flicker I'd seen the night I died. Half guilt. Half ambition? Tell me the truth, I said quietly. Did you know he'd be there that night? She froze. Ethan, answer me. Tears welled in her eyes. Yes. But I didn't think. I stepped back, shaking my head. You never think, Lena. You just survive. I wanted to protect you. By leading me to him? I snapped. You didn't protect me. You delivered me. Her tears fell fast. I was weak, I said. You were selfish. She took a trembling breath. Then why save me now? I looked at her, the firelight reflecting off her tears. Because I needed to end this with something other than hate. We just stood there, two broken people surrounded by what used to be everything we'd built. Finally, she whispered, What happens now? I smiled faintly. Now you tell the truth. To the police. To yourself and you. I disappear. Her hand reached out, brushed mine. Will I ever see you again? I looked out at the dawn rising through the smoke. Not unless you burn for something real. She watched me walk away, her voice trembling behind me. Ethan, I'm sorry. Stopped. Don't be. Just be better. And then I left her standing there between the ashes and the sunrise. As I reached the corner, I glanced back one last time. She was crying, holding the burnt photograph to her chest. The wind carried the ashes past me, swirling like ghosts around my steps. I whispered to no one, ashes don't lie. They just remember. For the first time since I died, I didn't feel haunted. I just felt free.